That's right. Oh, just running the board.
No, it's different. More agenda. You still have 3/4 today. I like it. We always do.
Hi, I'm Christina Connolly from Mayor John Mitchell's office. I want to welcome you all today. It's a great turnout for our first ever kickoff and info session for the Mayor's Summer Jobs Initiative. This year's initiative is 3 parts. It includes 3 parts. One is the city recreation jobs that are run through the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Beaches and Renee Dufour. The New Direction South Coast Summer Jobs Program, spearheaded by Wendy Andrade from New Direction's Youth Annex, and the Workforce Investment Board's Summer Youth Enrichment Program. So we sort of combined all these various parts together this year to make it one whole summer jobs initiative, so that there's something, a little bit of something for lots of different types of needs. And that's all I really have to say. You'll be hearing more specifics about the various component programs, but first I'd like to introduce Mayor John Mitchell to give you a few words about his thoughts about the jobs program this summer.
Thanks, everyone. I'm going to move a little bit closer to the middle. I'm pleased that we're here today. Many of you probably haven't been in the gym since it was rebuilt, and it's a fantastic place. And you know, it's appropriate that we're here because this gym was rebuilt with a view toward keeping kids occupied, giving them something to do, giving them something to build, an opportunity to build their skills. Not just basketball, not just sports, but as we build out the rest of this building, art and music and other things. And that's really the core purpose of the jobs program, all 3 components of it, and that's really to give teenagers an opportunity to learn skills, to build a future, to get into good habits. And you know, it's gone are the days when, you know, back when I was a kid, people would get jobs picking up garbage at the beach, and jobs were more plentiful. We still had factories around. We still had, you know, more job opportunities than we do now for kids. And what times have changed, and what we're trying to do now are to build more opportunities to keep kids engaged, so they can have the chance to learn important skills that will serve them in the future, but also, you know, to give them a sense of to give them a chance to build good habits. I can remember when I started working, I had a number of different summer jobs. Some were in some of the factories. I can remember I was a janitor at the Whaling Museum. I worked in a fish house. I worked at Justy's Bakery. Any of the adults here remember Justy's Bakery on Purchase Street? I know Buddy does. He was old enough. You know, I remember just having to force myself to get in the habit of getting up, going to work, putting in a hard day's work, and getting up the next day and doing it again, and to save money for you know, for tuition. And those are habits that once they're cultivated will pay off over the course of a lifetime. And that's the kind of thing that we want to give other kids an opportunity for. So that's what we're doing here today. I commend the efforts of Renee and Linda and Wendy. They'll give you the specifics of the program, but you know, the goal here really is to give kids an opportunity to make a little bit of money, to occupy their time and put their efforts to good use in the summer, and to build better adults in the long run. So we'll all be served by that. And so with that, I don't know if Renee, who's on deck in the speaking order, but Renee Dufour is in charge of our recreation department in the city, and I'd like for her to come up and say a few words about her part of the program.
So our summer employment program is really known as the Seasonal Training and Employment Program. Like the mayor said, giving an opportunity to youth and young adults to engage in a a job that teaches sort of job readiness and how to work with children in some capacity as well, get you outside into the parks too, and just to begin developing skills that will carry you through the school year in case you're interested in employment during the school year as well. And then also a great resume builder and builder for your college applications and that sort of thing. So we have a couple of different opportunities. The seasonal training and employment program, also known as STEP, is broken into two parts. We have positions that have been known in the past as really the lottery positions, and those consist of a site supervisor. So in our parks and playgrounds, some of you may be familiar with the summer food service program that we run. We serve meals in the parks and playgrounds in about 23 sites across the city, and our staff serve the food as well as really become a mentor and kind of a counselor within that park to engage kids in the activities, sports and games, arts and crafts, that type of thing. And those positions are about 4 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Also in that pool of lottery jobs, we have van aides. So with the summer food service program, we get our meals through the school department and we have to transport them to all the locations, and we have van drivers that take care of that, but we have aides that also work with the van driver to help deliver the meals. It's a lot of lifting and lugging, moving coolers, packing the food together and delivering it. So it's a little hustle and bustle, it's a little bit of physical activity, but it is a longer day. So you're usually looking at a 7 or 8 hour work day, and that's Monday through Friday as well. And then the other position within that lottery pool is the beach attendants. So we now work staffing the Fort Tabor entrance to the beach, and then the beaches, especially West Beach, where we collect a parking fee. And so as a beach attendant, your job is to really be a greeter and an ambassador to the city. So welcoming people as they come in, checking their parking, their stickers, making sure, asking if they're a resident, do they need help finding anything, really welcoming them, putting on a good face and smile, and bringing people in, helping them get situated and settled, giving them the rules or instructions that they might need in order to purchase a beach pass. Those positions are an 8-hour day, and we do staff the beach 7 days a week. So those positions are 40-hour a week, and you will have to work weekends. So that's something else to keep in mind when you do get your application and you're filling things out, what you're looking for. We also have positions that require a little bit more experience, and that's working in our Kennedy Summer Day program. You may be familiar, that's similar to a camp setting. It's a full day program. Those are usually 8-hour days, Monday through Friday. And then we also, in addition to the camp program, there's a couple different leadership roles in there, like a camp director and an assistant director, counselors, group leaders, all working with the kids in the program all day long. Not too many breaks throughout the day. You're moving constantly with your group of children throughout the whole time. In addition, we have our waterfront operations. So I mentioned the beaches. We staff the beaches with our lifeguards, our head lifeguards, an assistant waterfront director, a waterfront director. Those again are a little bit more experience required, specific certifications that are required. Those are also on this application. So when you see the application, you're going to see it really divided into two sections. The first section will be that lottery type of position I spoke about, which has 3 different options, and then there's the other positions that are a little bit more leadership oriented and may require some experience. You'll notice that when you get the applications, which they are on the table, and at the end we'll give you the opportunity to go over and grab them all, there is a whole page where you can fill out any job experience you've had. There's an area for references, of course, but there is one big key thing, and that is, as part of our program this year, we're going to be included into that lottery, you do need to fill out the application in its entirety. It needs to be delivered to the personnel office. So a big thing to remember is it's not coming back to us at our administrative offices here. It's coming or going back to City Hall to the personnel department. So just keep that in mind. It does say that on here, but just so you remember. But another big piece of it is, in order to be included in that, you need to attend one of the orientations that we're going to be offering during the April vacation school week. And that orientation will be some job readiness instruction. We can go through the application more and maybe help you out if there's any questions that you have about it. You'll still be able to get applications that day if you haven't gotten one determined by then, but you do need to attend one of those dates, and we've given an afternoon date, time period, and an evening. So that's also listed in the application packet, but you might want to tear it off, put it on your fridge. Don't forget you need to come to one of those to be put into the lottery program as well. I think that's pretty much it. Also in the packet, you'll see that all of those jobs I just spoke about, there's a whole page that describes them with a little bit of information. And if you have questions about the positions, are we doing questions now? Or do you want to do it at the end? Okay. If you have questions, you can ask me now, but then also if you think of things after the fact, you can always reach us at our administrative offices. The numbers are on here. Personnel can also answer the questions, but remember they go back to personnel. But does anybody have questions? Go ahead.
What type of job you get would be random, or how you fill out the application?
What we do is we actually have sort of a, I don't know the best way to describe it. It's really part of our orientation where if you've selected and said, I want to be a site supervisor, that's my first choice, and my second choice is a van aide, we actually do an entire skills test as part of our orientation with a range of questions from customer service things to basic math, just a variety of things so that we get to become familiar with you, because we don't have a specific interview process for these. As you know, there's a lot of jobs and a lot of people, so we try to really put people in groups and meet with you, and that's what the importance of the orientation is about. And then we'll also refer back to the applications as well, but through our contact and meeting with you, we'll try to determine what's the best placement and look at what are your choices, you know, what were you most interested in doing. So we bring that in too. Anybody else?
So, I'm sorry, in total, how many positions were available?
I think for the specific lottery, those three, the site supervisors, for those positions, there's about 55, I believe.
What positions are not in the lottery?
An area site coordinator, a van driver, a director of the Kennedy Summer, assistant director of Kennedy Summer, a group leader, counselor, and all the waterfront positions.
So you interview for those positions?
Mm-hmm. It's the same application, so if you have interest in both categories, you want to check off all the things you have the interest in and fill out the application completely anyway, and then what we'll be doing is as the applications start coming into us, we'll start scheduling for interviews and do that for all of those leadership experience required positions. Anybody else?
How old do you have to be?
Good question, and I should have mentioned that, thank you. You need to be 16 years old by July 1st. So if you're not 16 yet, but you're going to be before July 1st, then you're eligible, so you want to fill it out and get it in.
What job would you have for 14-year-old? Because I was informed it's 14 and older.
We do have other programs, which you're going to hear about. We, as the city program, don't have anything specific for that age. But there are other programs and resource materials that we're going to provide you with and talk about a bit that will apply. Okay, you're welcome. Anybody else? All right.
What's the age gap? I heard 16, but what's the cutoff? Is there a cutoff for the age limit?
For the lottery, well, not really. The lottery positions, the focus is to be working with youth, so we try to get up to 18, 19, 20, and then usually you start bumping into that more experience required category, but we would still encourage people to fill them out and send them in as well. Good question too. It's 8 weeks long. So all of our entire seasonal employment program technically begins July 2nd and runs through the end, August 26th I think is the ending date. We do have a training week that week before, so that last week in June there's multiple days of that week that you're required to come to the trainings. And we give you those schedules ahead of time. So you're really looking at almost 9 weeks of a program.
When you say experience, is it specifically job experience, or would working in the daycare in school apply as experience?
That could also apply as experience, yeah. We would learn more about that through an interview process, and it would be a little bit more competitive, but that would be included, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is this program about the weekly payment on a weekly basis, or is this the one?
Our program is a payroll on a weekly basis. Okay, so all those positions I talked about, it's weekly.
What happens if you couldn't make the orientation then?
We'll probably take names and information and try to do something after the fact, but we want to get as many people into those 2 dates because we want to move the process before it becomes too late in the season. It gets a little tight and difficult with the numbers, the large numbers of applicants we have.
Yeah, I just if somebody had plans for the application.
Which we anticipate would probably happen, so we'd try to do something else after, but we're trying to get as many in to keep it moving.
And somebody would have to call in on?
Yep, they can just call our office and we'll take the information and we'll compare it, make sure we have the application and everything, yeah. Oh. All right, well thank you very much. Am I going to you or do you want me to introduce him?
Hi, good evening. My name is Wendy Andrade, and I am the Director of Youth Services for New Directions South Coast and the Greater New Bedford Career Center. Many of you, I'm sure, know of New Directions. We are mostly known for summer jobs for young people. I'm also here to talk about the services that we have available at the Youth Annex of the Greater New Bedford Career Center, which opened about almost 2 years ago, and that is a career center just for young people. Whenever I talk about summer jobs and job search, the one thing that I always want to emphasize is the importance of starting early, which is great because it's early and you're all here, so that's a bonus. New Directions, we did start our pre-registration for summer jobs on March 1st, and we had such an overwhelming response that we did need to close registrations very recently because we had well over what we knew we would have for summer jobs available. However, if you're still looking for a summer job, again, you're here, it's early, and that's good. We do have services available at the Youth Annex, and we have ongoing outreach to employers to hire you in a private paid employer job. So we're working closely with employers, but we're also working with youth to help you do what it is you need to do in order to conduct your job search. We can help you with your resume. We can help you prepare for interviewing. We have workshops available that can help you. And we want to encourage you to come to the Annex, sit down and meet with someone for some individual assistance, and come again and again and again, because we do find that the youth who do secure employment through the Youth Annex are the youth that continue to come in. We also encourage you, we'll talk to you when you come in about updating your profile, both your physical profile, the way that you dress when you're meeting with employers, how to talk to employers. Also, your virtual profile will help you work on your Facebook page, your emails, your voicemail messages, all of the things that you may or may not be aware of that are very important in job search. The Youth Annex is open Monday through Friday, all day. We close about 4:30, and in the afternoons we have staff available to help you with your job search. Any questions? Oh, thank you. We're in downtown New Bedford at 5 Dover Street, which is the alleyway in between Freestones and the Elm Street Garage. We're also on Facebook. If you look us up and friend us, then you will have information about job opportunities that we may have. We can contact you if you want to contact us through Facebook. We find that works out very well. So you just can search New Directions and you will find you there. Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to pass you to Linda Hutchison, who's going to talk about opportunities with the Workforce Investment Board.
Thanks, Wendy. Good evening. My name is Linda Hutchison, and I am the Youth Council Director at the Greater New Bedford Workforce Investment Board. Just to tell you this is a little bit of a different story. This is not your typical jobs program. This is a summer enrichment program that we run. The way this came about is a few years back, a former mayor noticed that there were a lot of young people between 14 and 16 who weren't able to find employment because of all of the labor laws and, you know, some biases against younger people who don't have any experience yet, etc. So what they came up with is an alternative program, which we now call the Mayor's Summer Youth Enrichment Program. And the enrichment piece is very important because, as you've heard from our other job placement specialists and employers alike, you need to be ready for the workforce. You need to have skills. You need to build your team skills. You need to build your communication skills. You need to learn to take initiative, to have responsibility. All of those things are things that people are going to look for the rest of your life. In your college applications, in your job applications, in anything that you pursue. So what we do is we solicit donations of job placements from employers and donations money from employers and community organizations and all of those people to support the youth in the New Bedford community. So what we're looking at is the potential. I'm trying to get up to enough money so that we can pay 100 youth a stipend of $250, and this is the way the program runs. It runs for 6 weeks. It starts on July 9th and goes through mid-August. So anyway, it's 6 weeks, and what it does is it provides that community-based service experience out maybe working in the city yard or with some of the city folks. It also provides a Friday enrichment experience, which would be taking a tour of a local workplace or hearing from somebody in the community or in the mayor's office about what their first job was like, or perhaps what it takes to do the job that they're currently doing. And you'll find out all different things about career exploration, maybe some things you never even heard of in types of jobs that people have or may have had previously to what they're doing, as the mayor was talking about earlier. You wouldn't look at him and think he worked in a fish house, right? And we all have those stories about where we came from. So, you know, it's just about building skills and really enriching the lives of the youth, keeping them occupied, giving them some sense of what they could be doing with their futures, and giving them experience so that they have something to put on the next job application, on the resume, something to talk about in the next job interview. These are all very important things, and we do have applications here. I do have to be upfront. We are dependent on donations, so I can't say for certain how many positions we'll have. It really does depend on the generosity of our local industry, community organizations. Moms, dads, and uncles, aunts are welcome to donate as well, and how many jobs we can come up with from the same pool of employers. But typically we were able to fund between 40 to 50 positions. Like I said, I'm shooting for the moon. I'm going for 100 positions this summer because I know there's at least that many youth between 14 and 18 that would be interested in doing something over the summer that will enrich their lives. If anybody has any questions, there's applications on the table. The applications are very similar to the other programs. There's also a frequently asked questions for prospective participants in the program. My contact information is on all of that, and our office is right on 227 Union Street in the Webster Bank Building on the 2nd floor. And that's where the applications can be mailed back to. Does anybody have any questions? Sure.
14 to 18 is your target area. I know New Directions, they have a cutoff date of like around May or something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if there was a student turning 14 at that point in time, is he eligible? Because I know it's tough for New Directions to do that time frame.
It would be 14 before the start of the program, say July 1st, okay. Much like the other programs, right? Right, and as long as we have that birth certificate and that information, then I don't have a problem. There is quite a bit to the application. There is documentation that will be needed, so the sooner you can get all that together and give it back to us, the better your chances, because once we get into the process of trying to place people, it moves pretty quickly, and the jobs will fill out quickly. Any other questions? Yes?
Are these job opportunities for New Bedford residents only?
At this time, yes. Any others? Okay, thank you very much for being here this evening.
All right, thank you, Linda. So we're going to wrap up right now, but before we wrap up, I have one more message, and this doesn't go out to the parents, and people are going to be watching this on TV. This goes out to the teenagers who are eligible for these programs. Take advantage of these opportunities. You will enjoy your summer job. At least you'll remember it for a whole lifetime and be able to joke about it and when you become an adult and say, remember when. But you will also gain skills that will pay off for the rest of your life. Do it. It's worth it. Apply. And don't leave it to your parents to make it happen. You need to reach out. It's up to you to do this. This is one of the big steps into adulthood. It's your responsibility to do it. So give it a shot. Make it happen. When you should take a look at the information up here. One thing that you need to know is that there are deadlines. So for the STEP program that Renee was describing, the deadline is April 20, right, Renee? And then for the new directions program that Wendy was describing, that's April 30. And then for the WIB program that Linda was describing, the deadline is rolling, right?
Rolling, but May 31st would probably be about our cutoff, because by that time we usually know what the funding's going to be and how many jobs we have, and we like to get people placed and, you know, situated as soon as possible. Right. So I know we gave you a lot of information all at once. It's right here. I mean, I looked through this as we're sitting here right now. I looked through this chart that has each of the 3 programs summarized. Come up and get one of those. For the people who are going to be watching this on cable TV, go to the city website. You can get the same thing. It's going to be up on the website, or call the mayor's office, which is 508-979-1410. You can get all the same information, but don't be left behind. Make sure you take advantage of the opportunity, because it's a good one. Thanks, everyone. Unless there are more questions, if there are more questions, you can have them answered up here. But thanks, and let's have a good summer.